Holy shit, that was not a good ending at all. But it was first place, finally again. Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the playthrough of Gran Turismo 7. The sharp observer will notice that I actually already won this race in the end of the not in the end, at the start of the previous episode. It is just, I think, menu book 12. It's a 2-course championship, but I am driving this in an untuned way. I think relatively way underpowered car compared to the faster cars. And I don't want to just slam on a turbo and easily drive to victory, like with 2 fingers in my nose, so to say. So it's really a super tough race if you do it untuned on regular comfort tires. And in the previous episode, I finally, literally, I think after 700 or maybe even 1,000 restarts, it really took me a week playing off and on, but finally got that win. So you could wonder, why the hell do you have to do it again? But I was such an idiot that there are 2 races. There's Alsace regular direction and then Alsace reverse in this championship. And the first time I did the second race after getting first in the first race, I accidentally crossed the finish line. And that's, of course, what I should never, what you should never do, because then you, and I crossed in third. Of course, if I was first, that would not have been a problem, but I was third. And then it's over, then you have to start over. So then I want to finish 2 times first place in this championship. That's the goal I've set. And so, yeah, it was super annoying because everything starts over. And the problem is, if you really finish the championship, or if you really cancel out of the whole championship, not mid-race, just restart the race, but really get out of the championship, then, so to say, the dice are also a little bit re-rolled as to where the AI cars exactly start on the grid. Sometimes they're mostly in the same order, but sometimes they are a little bit ahead or a little bit in front. So it differs where actually your overtaking points are along the course. And there is only in my setup now, I think, with 50 performance points less than the Renault Alpine and 25 performance points less than the Renault Megane. There is only 1 or 2 starting setups where each car is when you start the race. That allows me to win, and that is a setup where the Renault Alpine, by far the fastest car on the grid, is actually held up by in this case, the number 2 car, the 208 GTI, and the number 4 car, the Megane RS, but mostly the 208 GTI. That one is then up front and really holding up the A110 in the Megane, which then allows me to play catch up. But in all the other, I think there are 10-15 variations of starting positions. All the other ones, the A110 just is easily first by mid of the first lap, and then it only continues to extend its lead. So that was super annoying that I accidentally finished the championship after getting the first time a win in this first race and then starting that second race, because that's necessitated to again get a first in the first race, which is the moment that I finally now am at. So that mistake of finishing that championship previously accidentally in third place really cost me, like, I don't know, 6 hours again of racing. or 5 hours, because even though I know the course very well right now, but it's also, you have to restart, cancel out of the championship, try to get that correct order of AI car setup at the start, and then it's still quite kind of challenging winning the race, even with that A110 and the Megane being held up by the 208 GTI. So the fact that my win now was super messy at the end, I really didn't play it well at the end, but very slow through the final chicane, etc. But I know that once you are past them, they hold off a bit. They're not that aggressive anymore. So I really took it overly cautious. But man, I take this win over any beauty prize for cool racing or whatsoever any day of the week. A win is a win. It is really, in this car, the Clio V6 beating the Renault A110 really is crazy challenging, if you ask me. So yeah, I did decide to record it a second time, that first race, although of course I also recorded my win, my previous win in that race in the previous episodes. But yeah, I hope I'm making a little bit of sense. I'm also talking it out of my system now, so to say. But yeah, I had to redo that first race because I accidentally finished the championship in the previously when I was in the second race. What you should do if you're not winning that second race, you should just cancel out of the race and restart. Because also if you cancel out mid-race, then the AI order remains the same. The AI order only is changed randomly, I think, or maybe there's an order to it, I don't know. But once you cancel out of the championship and reload the championship, then it's a pretty big chance that the cars have a slightly different position on track, so slightly different takeover points on the track. And for me, there really was only one setup of AI starting positions that really allowed me to win in this car versus that A110. And I really hope that that position also holds true for the second race, because if in the second race now the A110 really immediately spurts off and into the distance and there's no way of catching him, then of course I have a bit of a problem, because that would mean I have to again restart the whole championship, do the first race again, which will take a couple of hours, and then the second race, hoping that the dice fall in my favor as regards to starting positions, and then try to get 2 consecutive first place wins. But yeah, we have to see about that. But now it is, I'm going to go to the second race. Second time I'm doing that second race. It's the same course, but then reverse. So I do know the track, but of course it is just totally different braking points, etc. So in reverse order. So it's basically a new track, so to say. But let's just continue on with that now. Still have 70 minutes or so in the episode. Do I want to have the app? I have like an app which displays some times, but you know what, I don't even need the app. It's just a matter of persevering, whether you have a good time or bad time. It is how do you say, you just have to get good, just like in Dark Souls. So yeah, you can. I also don't really use ghosts or the HUDs. I find the HUD super unimmersive, but all those extra information elements, they also can actually distract from the course and the car itself. You have, in the end, you have to do it yourself. So it's just a matter of practicing and getting good and getting faster through each corner the more you practice. But yeah, here we go. And I really must not forget to not finish this race if I'm not in first position. Cancel out of it, because that will finish the championship and then I have to start all over with the first race. Alright, yeah, let me one time watch the replay, just for the fun. because that last section really was so messy. I can also this corner I did not do well, because normally I would have been past this car by now already. So I really got a little bit lucky in this race. It also is a roll of the dice, whether even with this starting setup, at some point the first three cars, so that is the 208 GTI and then the Renault Megane and then the Renault Alpine. Sometimes the Renault Alpine just passed them anyways and went off into the distance. So even if you have a good lap, it's dependent on how the first three cars are doing. The other cars, they are basically more or less the same. And also what I notice, or what I see with a good starting grids, is over here, after this corner in the distance. Oh, fucking hell, I'm again in a wrong car. This is my car. Alright. Over here, I'm really not going too well here. But in the distance you see that white car all at the next corner, trying to overtake the yellow car. That is the Renault Alpine and the Renault Megane. And luckily he doesn't succeed, because if he does, he only has the Renault Alpine, he only has the 208 GTI in front of him, and he more easily passes one car in front than two in front. It seems he's a bit more conservative if he's in third place. I'm not sure, but anyways, the fact that in this starting setup that Alpine is now still visible in this stretch, that is already a major difference with other random starting setups, because often he is already, you don't see him at all here anymore. He's already extended his lead far beyond that corner. So even to the right you see him now still behind that Megane. In most other starting setups, you will not see the Megane and maybe the Megane, but the Alpine, you don't even see him on this part of the track anymore. He's already way ahead in the first corner without anybody holding him down or slowing him down, so to say. So he's only exceeding his lead. So for those attempts in the car that I have now, it's just futile. You really have to cancel out of the championship and try to get that starting setup where he is being held up a bit by that Megane, and then after that the Renault 208 GTI. So here we go. And in this corner you really need to take these three guys. I don't even do it that well. I'm really screwing it up over here. Normally I'm already past this guy at this point, so it really is not that good of a run. Also this one, I don't think I really did it that well. But you see in front, you see the red 208 GTI, then the Megane and the Alpine being held up. Again, also here, I'm not really focused. I've been playing for so long now. I'm not even sure how I won this race, because I really didn't do it that well. It really was a roll of the dice. The other two cars remained behind the first, second and third remained behind the slower first car. That really helped. And it all looks pretty easy, but I can tell you this is really, after again 5 hours of driving or something. See, they're both still very much being held up. And normally over here rolls the dice whether the Alpine or the Megane already takes over and just takes the lead from here. If that is the case, which luckily is not happening here, if that is the case, you can better start over. And also on this straight, I really got lucky because normally the Megane and the Alpine now just fly past the 208 GTI, but somehow they don't do that now. So this is really what wins me the race. What's happening over here. This really allows me to play catch up. Normally the Megane and or certainly the Alpine is already way ahead by this time. Here, and I'm really not playing that, not driving that clean. Here, over here, way too much sliding around. And here I was really like, ah man, I missed it because the Alpine took him over, but actually not. So, and again, a very messy corner on my part. So it's also a little bit, I hate to say it, but about luck winning these races. Even if you don't have the cleanest lap, you can still win. And here, the Alpine and the Megane, yeah, they don't really drive it cleanly. I do this more clean than they do. And then here you also have nerves, because this is a very messy corner. You can easily slide out. So it's also just going all out or not. And I'm, again, not even taking it that well, but it was barely just enough. I could have really passed them in that corner, I didn't. But my win move is over here. What I was not expecting is that 208 GTI was still on the inside. But I knew that this corner they take quite slowly, so yeah, I really didn't do it well, because you can also easily spin out here, so I was super conservative. And yeah, it's now just a matter of nurturing it home. God damn it. Also, actually I went way too quick in here, so I was really thinking that I could have screwed it up even this late in the race. I almost did, but yeah, it's very narrow there, so they had a hard time getting past. So yeah, very messy, but who cares? Let's get to the next race. And please let the starting order be okay-ish. So not that the Alpine immediately takes off. Because I want 2 consecutive first places, if at all possible. Here we go. Alright, don't forget to cancel out if I'm not in first by the end of the second lap. Right, this will probably be a bit messy because I really don't know the track that well from this side. But here we go. As you can see, I'm going super slow. I do like it, these reverse parts, because it really just gives a different perspective. At one point you do have a little bit, oh shit. You do have a bit of advantage of already knowing the track. But at the same time it's just totally new. Thank you very much for that little nudge. Right, I don't even remember where we are now. Oh, we are over here. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. The Alpine is already gone. Yeah, damn it. Totally gone. No way of taking him anymore. Catching him. Alright, so I really have a problem because in the previous attempts that I did here, when I accidentally finished the race, then the Alpine was being held up. So the dice have not been rolled favorably for me, I guess. You see, the Alpine is nowhere to be seen anymore. Totally goner. He's already on the straight by now. So yeah, let's just use it to get to know the track. There he is, in the distance. No way in hell that I will be able to catch him. God damn it. That could mean that I have to do that first race over again. So I have the dice re-rolled for this race. The starting positions. Although he does seem very slow through this section, he is still quite close. It almost seems like I'm catching up. Maybe there's some rubber banding going on. Yeah, seems to be the case. Man, that would be so nice. Man, it's so hard if you don't know exactly what to expect. You see, I'm not even, I would say, that far from the A10 compared to the first race. So I do think, I really don't recognize this corner. I do recognize it, but we're taking it from the other side. But I do think that there may be some rubber banding going on. That's because it's the final race of the championship that the game wants you to maybe have a shot at winning, because that is of course epic. Winning in the last. Alright, don't finish it. That's the only thing I must not forget. But finishing in the last race at the last lap. So maybe, I hope that they put it like so that it will be a little bit easier, because that first race it was so brutal. Literally, with that second time I had to do it, both times together I for sure did more than 1,000 attempts. And of course, each attempt, it's not like a full lap, because often you just start over right after the start or mid-race because something went wrong. But still, I really have to start learning the braking points here. I'm already very happy that I'm in this race even. That I'm done with that first one, but never say never. It could very well be I have to redo that first one again. Right, totally screwing this up. But yeah, if that Alpine really stays ahead over here, it could be that I have to redo the first race. so different doing it in reverse order. So I will be doing it in between episodes. I will try to get good, and then the successful attempts will hopefully be at the start of the next episode. And they really are braking way too much in certain areas. Sorry. There, the A110 really goes very slowly. So I do think there's a possibility to win here. I don't want to get overly excited. Really is like a drifting course this way around. Alright, check it out. I'm really gaining. Not even knowing the track that well. Much different than the first time around. I really have to be much faster at the in the first lap. But still, it is. I'm finishing much closer to that Alpine than in the first race, with him in the lead. So that is in itself a good thing, I would say. Guys, hope you enjoyed. So it's more or less a bit of a duplicate episode compared to the previous one, where I just won that first race in the, what's it called? Cours de France or something. Anyways, I am going to probably retry it 50 or 100 times in between episodes. All the failed attempts I will just throw away or discard, and then hopefully in the next episode it will finally, after a week of trying, will be 2 times successive wins in this, god damn it, what is it called? I will, Cours de France? Race de France or whatever. Let's do GT7 menu book 12 maybe. No. Blah blah de France. Petite Course de France, that's the name indeed. Yeah, so super annoying championship, at least if you don't take the Alpine. I'm sure if you take the Alpine or you put it on sports tires, then it's a totally different matter. Probably be quite easy, but in this car on comfort tires, I can tell you it is hellish, that first race. Anywho, and actually the only way I won, to be fair, is because I gamed the system a little bit, in the sense that I tried to find the most favorable AI starting setup, where the A110 is being held up a bit. But without that, just randomly, it is just, I think it's unwinnable in this car against the A110. So 50 performance points do really make a significant difference. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next one. For the meantime, do not forget, you yourself as well, always do keep on gaming, Selector.